This is the Ryan Morik Show.
Hello, fans of all ages. This is indeed the Ryan Morik Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today is Thursday, October 30th, Halloween Eve. Gonna be a short show today. I'm not in the studio. I'm just hanging out in the dorm room, just talking some sports. So I figured I'd start off with the World Series. The World Series champion 3 times in the last 5 years, the San Francisco Giants. What a series, to say the least. A 7-game series in the World Series. Can't ask for much more in the world of sports. Clearly, the Giants were the better team. I mean, in the regular season, the Royals had no one that hit for more than 20 home runs or 75 RBIs. They were just the team with a lot of passion, a lot of fire, and a lot of clutch hitting. But kudos to the Royals, definitely. They were an awesome team to watch this year. They were a great story. Pretty much everyone outside of San Francisco was rooting for the Royals to win. Amazing story. Great team. I wish that more teams played like the Royals. I wish that more teams had as much fire and as much passion and as much of a will to win like the Kansas City Royals. It was, as a sports lover and an athlete for all 19 years of my life, the Royals are what every athlete, what every sports team loves. And a great story, a great team, but the greater team won. And I feel like if you know anything about baseball, you would know that the Giants were clearly the better team. I mean, I'm going off about how the Giants were the better team, but I thought the Royals were going to win in 7. I predicted Game 1, I said Royals in 7. Of course, I picked the Royals to lose the division series. I picked them to lose the championship series. I picked them to win the World Series, and I was wrong all 3 times, so good for me. But yeah, I was really shocked that the Royals lost. I feel like it was destiny. I go for destiny over the better team all the time, basically. When the Giants won both of their World Series, I thought that was destiny. When the Ravens won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, I thought that was destiny. When the Yankees won in 2009, I thought that was destiny. The 2 times where I picked destiny to win and it didn't come through were last night and the Rangers against the Kings in the Stanley Cup. But the reason why the Giants won was because Madison Bumgarner went 5 shutout innings, let up 2 hits, both of them singles. One of them was Alex Gordon's single to the outfield that wound up being an error on the center fielder. And if you watch that replay, he would have been dead if he went to home. He would have been out by a mile. He had barely touched third base, and the cutoff man already had the ball. He would have been dead. Trust me. With that being said, the Royals would have won the game if Madison Bumgarner did not pitch 5 innings. When Madison Bumgarner came in, I said to myself, A, this is not a great idea because he's coming off of 2 days rest, and Madison Bumgarner pitching 2 innings, what does that really do for your team? I mean, anyone could pitch 2 shutout innings. And then little did we know he was going to come out and throw 5 innings, get the 5-inning save, which is ridiculous, which is insane. It was insane. That was the greatest World Series performance I've ever seen. Probably the greatest playoff performances I've ever seen by any athlete. I mean, the guy had what, a .26 ERA in the World Series? It was unbelievable. It was magical watching this guy perform. I mean, I remember in the regular season, I think he took 2 perfect games in the 7th inning. Twice. He took 2 perfect games into the 7th inning, I'm pretty sure. And you can't say enough about unbelievable is an understatement. I mean, no one predicted his performance last night. I thought he was going to have 2 innings, get taken out, every time he walked back out on the field, I was surprised, but at the same time, I wasn't. I mean, how are you going to take that guy out? Clearly, he was I thought his first inning, I thought he looked a little shaky. I didn't think his fastball was all the way there, but he wound up getting control of it, clearly. Every time he came out, I was just like, of course you got to bring this guy back on the mound. I mean, he's sick. On the Ryan Ruocco show today, with him and Rothenberg, someone said if the Giants had Mariano Rivera, in his prime, of course, would you have left Bumgarner in? And to tell you the complete truth, I would have kept in Bumgarner. I would have. I think it was clear that he was in control since practically the second he walked onto the mound. The only way I would have brought in Mariano Rivera is if the leadoff guy got on in the ninth inning. And honestly, I think Bruce Bochy would have taken out Bumgarner if that were the case. Mariano Rivera on the squad or not. I think, let's say Alex Gordon's single turned into a triple was the first at-bat of the bottom of the ninth inning, Bumgarner would have gotten taken out. I think after that at-bat, Bumgarner was still in control. I mean, that run, well, it would have been an earned run, but he was not supposed to be on third base. And he had control. Simple as that. I think it was a great idea eventually. I thought it was a bad idea. When he came out in the third inning, I was like, there's no way Bruce Bochy is really doing this right now. And then he came out for his fourth inning, and I said, I said to myself, he's going to finish this game. And now that I think about it, I mean, I hate changing my mind about whether an idea is good or not after the fact. But of course this was a good idea. This guy, you weren't asking him to throw for 7, 8, 9 innings. You were asking him to do 5 innings, which he obviously could have done it on 2 days rest. He did it last night. But in a normal rotation, after 2 days rest, your throw day his throw day would have been yesterday. And while a throw day is much different from competitive pitching in the World Series, no less, you can produce. And did Madison Bumgarner produce last night? I thought Kansas City had clear momentum after their Game 6 victory. And once Tim Hudson came out of that game in the second inning, I thought to myself right away, there's no way the Royals were losing this game. And I was very surprised that both starters came out before they finished their fourth inning of work. I thought Hudson was fine. He only let up 2 runs. He had 28 pitches when he got taken out. I thought he was fine. And same thing with I don't even remember who started for the Royals last night. But anyway, he was fine. And then Ned Yas took him out in the fourth inning. I was very shocked, but the final was 3-2. 1 run was scored after the starters came out, so their bullpens did their job. And the thing that I loved the most, I've been talking about how Kansas City had fire and the city was going crazy. Kauffman Stadium, as soon as the final out was made, it was silent for like 30 seconds. And then you just hear them chanting, "Let's go Royals." That alone shows what the Royals did this year. The Royals took a team full of, I don't know what to call them. I guess you can call them nobodies for the most part. And they made them a World Series team that were just short because the Giants have one of the greatest postseason pitchers I've ever seen. That's the only reason why they lost. As soon as that last out was made, Kansas City was still going insane. and rightfully so. I mean, how could you not? I know that, like, if I'm a Yankee fan, well, I am a Yankee fan, the next time they make the postseason, and I just so happen to be at the game, that if they get eliminated, I know as soon as that last out is made, I'll be cheering on that team because they work so hard. Every team, any team in general, they work hard to do the most that they can do. And the Royals became a postseason team. They became a World Series team, and Kauffman Stadium was going strong. I heard Royal fans over Madison Bumgarner's interview when he received the MVP trophy. I heard Kansas City Royals fans over him. Now, I don't know what time they left the stadium last night, but the fact that they stayed for that long, and I can hear them over Madison Bumgarner and Bruce Bochy receiving the trophies, that shows what the Kansas City Royals did to this city, to this fan base, and really to the entire baseball world. With that being said, congratulations to the San Francisco Giants. You guys are a flat-out dynasty. Buster Posey and Madison Bumgarner, they are 25 years old. They have 3 World Series rings already. That is unbelievable. A-Rod didn't get his first until 2009, and he was 34. Buster Posey and Madison Bumgarner have 3 at the age of 25. Lincecum also, I think, right? Yeah. That's a dynasty. And while not everyone on their roster is a future Hall of Famer. They're not the Yankees from the 1920s. They're not the Yankees from the late 90s. But they are up there. They have guys who play well together. They are like the Spurs, but with not as much skill. They just have 25 guys who know how to play baseball. They have 25 guys who know how to play baseball together. And when you have team chemistry like that, you are going to win baseball games and probably a championship. And that's what San Francisco did. So congratulations to them. Best of luck next year. Awesome World Series. Probably one of the greatest postseasons I've ever seen. We had walk-offs. We had the Royals. We had the greatest performance I've ever seen in any playoff. It was unbelievable. And 112 days until pitchers and catchers report. Can't wait. But now that baseball's over, A-Rod's back. Alex Rodriguez's suspension officially is over. And I am very excited. I cannot stand the Yankee fans who... Okay, before I talk about that, I don't like A-Rod. I cannot stand Alex Rodriguez. When he appealed his suspension in 2013, I was at one of his first home games, back from his injury, back from after he appealed the suspension. I would say it was probably 70 to 30 boos, I would say. I was in the 30% cheering for him, and I cannot stand the guy. Why? Because he's a New York Yankee. Why am I going to boo someone who is producing for my favorite team? Alex Rodriguez hit a double that game, I remember. And the crowd went nuts. Do not boo a guy and then cheer for him when he produces. That is pathetic. I cannot stand the Yankee fans who do that. There was a guy next to me who was booing, diehard Yankee fan, booing every time his name was called, every time he touched the ball, every time he was up in the batter's box. And then when he hit the double, he was going ballistic. Now, I get it. Again, I cannot stand A-Rod. I think he is a cancer to baseball. But he's on the team. He's going to try his best to produce. He's going to try his best to get the Yankees a World Series title. Why is that a bad thing? Why is it a bad thing for someone to try to fight for what they want? And they want you, he wants you, Yankee fans, to feel satisfaction. And that's a bad thing? You're going to tell me if A-Rod hits a walk-off home run in the World Series next year, you are going to boo him? Absolutely not. And if you cheer for him when he produces, do not boo him when his name is called on opening day. If I have the opportunity to go to opening day, I will stand up and cheer for him like I have never cheered for anyone before. I can guarantee you that. Because he is going to produce for the Yankees and he's going to try his best to get them a World Series title. Never boo for anyone on your team. That goes for you also, Jet fans. Don't boo Geno Smith. Don't boo Mark Sanchez. You're probably going to boo Michael Vick. Don't do it. They are trying their best to produce to get your team to win a championship. If you're going to boo them, do not be a fan of that team. Plain and simple. Booing someone on your team basically says that you want them to do badly on purpose. You want them to do badly. That's like if you want someone on your team to do badly, you want your team to lose. As much as I do not like Alex Rodriguez, I'm sorry, I'm taking a win over a loss any day. Winning is one of the most gratifying experiences ever, and especially when it's a title. Why in the world would you want someone to perform badly? The only people that you would want to perform poorly is the opponent. That's it. Alex Rodriguez is not my opponent. Alex Rodriguez is my favorite team's third baseman. Maybe shortstop, maybe first baseman. Nonetheless, he is on my favorite team. I'm going to cheer for him no matter what. I remember in 2012 when he struck out looking to make the final out of the, was it 2011? It was 2011 when he made the last out in the division series. I wore an A-Rod shirt the next day because people were putting so much pressure, so much hate on A-Rod when Granderson and Swisher couldn't even see the baseball in that postseason either. And everyone was blaming A-Rod. You win as a team, you lose as a team. Not one person is to blame for a win, or not one person is to blame for a loss, and not one person wins the game. Yankee fans, when A-Rod comes back, you better forgive him. And if you don't consider yourself a Yankee fan. Now that that's out of the way, I'm hoping A-Rod plays for, hopefully, let's say 120 games. Mark Teixeira is not going to be playing 130, 140 games, so A-Rod's going to take some time at first. So he's going to have to adjust to that. And it's probably going to be a little easy because he plays third base. And first base and third base are really practically the same position. They're both hot corners, except first baseman, you just have to move to first base and cover the bag when someone else hits the ball. That's basically it. I think A-Rod will have an easy time adjusting to first base. It's not that hard of a position. And I feel like he'll like it. I'm a first baseman. I'm involved in every play. A-Rod's going to like it. A-Rod likes when the spotlight's on him. Don't we realize that by now? The spotlight's going to be on him at first base. The spotlight's going to be on him, period. I think he's going to adjust pretty nicely. And I'm not expecting a 300 hitter, 40 home runs, 100 RBIs. Just want him to do enough to get the Yankees into the postseason. That's what any Yankee fan should want. Hoping for 270, 280, about 20 home runs, maybe 70, 75 RBIs. That would be ideal for A-Rod at this point. I mean, the guy's not going to be in tip-top shape. He hasn't played in over a year. So what do you expect? But nonetheless, I'm excited to see A-Rod back, and every Yankee fan should. A-Rod is going to try to make this team a dynasty again. I know I want them to be a dynasty. How about you, Yankee fans? You don't want the Yankees to be a dynasty once again? I didn't think so. Now, one thing is for sure, the Jets will not be a dynasty anytime soon. I mean, they're 1-7. Geno got benched last week after throwing 3 interceptions. He was the first quarterback since Rex Grossman in 2006 to have more interceptions than completions. Not exactly the best of company. I mean, we all know Michael Vick is not the solution. If you really think Vick is the solution, then get a brain. Seriously. They don't need a quarterback. That's why, if they get a top 3 pick next year, they should skip on Winston and Mariota. Their QB is not the problem. They have nobody. They have no weapons. Eric Decker should not be a number 1 receiver. Percy Harvin might be gone by the end of this year because of all the arguments he gets into with basically everyone. He got into a fight with Golden Tate the day before the Super Bowl. I do not want that guy on my team. Definitely not. I think they need to go out this offseason and spend money on a prime-time receiver. They're $20 million under the cap. Don't waste draft picks on rookie quarterbacks who are going to make more rookie mistakes. Geno Smith is a young guy. Of course he's going to make rookie mistakes. And so are Winston and Mariota when they make the league. And then Jet fans are going to want them out. Don't draft another quarterback. Get a wide receiver. Spend money. You have cap space. Use it. The last thing they should do is draft a quarterback. People have been talking about cleaning the house, firing everyone. And at this point, I mean, I love Rex Ryan. I used to not like him, but I realize he is a great coach. Now, the pros of cleaning the house, you get a fresh start, you get new start. That's basically the pro of it. But the cons of it, you got to get rid of Rex Ryan, who is a great coach. These Jets want to play for Rex Ryan. They love him. When the Jets finished 8-8 last year, and they said in the locker room, Rex Ryan's coming back next year, the players were going nuts. And Rex Ryan does not deserve this. Rex Ryan does not deserve to be coaching a 1-7 team. He does not deserve all the questions about Geno and Vic. He doesn't deserve it. He's a great coach. And any team would be lucky to have him as a head coach, as a defensive coordinator. If this was a perfect world for the Jets would go up to Rex Ryan and say, hey, we're going to move you to defensive coordinator, and we're going to hire a nice head coach. Because we all know Rex Ryan is a defensive head coach. We all know that the Jets have a 3-win offense and a 10-11-win defense. And that's just how it is. That's how the Jets are. But no matter what, the clear-cut solution for this team, I wouldn't say solution because one guy is not going to make them into a playoff team. But the only thing they can really do is spend money and get a target. They have no weapons. They have Decker, Harvin, Amaro. I mean, sure, is their quarterback situation bad? Yes. But I guess you can say that it is like their number 1, weakness. I don't know what to call it. But you can have Tom Brady on this team, and even he wouldn't have a great year. Tom Brady is a little bit of a stretch, but let's say Stafford or Matt Ryan, they would not succeed with the Jets this year. The only guys who can possibly do well with the Jets this year are Brady, Breeze, Rodgers, Peyton Manning. That's it, because those are the 4 elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Anyone else, they would not succeed with this team. That's how bad they are, because they have no weapons. Speaking of New York football, the New York Giants are on Monday Night Football tonight on ESPN against the Indianapolis Colts. Giants are 3-4, and the Colts are heading into this game at a record of 5-3. They lead their division. Tonight is going to be, I hope, a good game. I mean, the Giants usually play very well on prime time at home. That's just how they are. The crowd is going to be into this game. They know that they have to win in order to stay alive. They're 3-4 right now, and they got to start winning, especially after Dallas and Philly lost yesterday. They got to start climbing up into the standings, and if they want to do it, they got to do it now, because 3 of the next 4 weeks are home games, and that one away game is in Seattle. And these next few games are not going to be easy. It's tonight against the Colts, next week against Seattle, home against San Fran, home against Dallas. And then after that, it gets a little bit easier. But they got to start winning games now, because you can't wait until the last 5 games to start winning. I'm hoping the Giants win this game, obviously. If you know me, I'm a huge Giant fan. But my gut doesn't think so. It's either going to be the Giants lose by 30 or they win by 3. That's how it's going to be. I feel like the Giants can definitely get past this Colts secondary, but I am having a hard time believing that the Giants are going to contain Ahmad Bradshaw. I think they can stop T.Y. and Hakeem and Reggie Wayne. It's going to take a lot of effort, though. And we already know that the Giants' run game is not going to do anything because that O-line is terrible. They still have no Rashad Jennings, and you can't put a power back with the Giants' offensive line. It just doesn't work out. So I think this game is going to depend on which strengths destroy the weaknesses. I feel like if the offensive line shows that much of a weakness tonight, then there's no way the Giants are going to lose this game. But I feel like if the Giants secondary shows that they are one of the top secondaries in this league, I'm not saying that they are, but in the offseason there were talks that they were up there. If they want to be in that category, they're going to have to play hard. They're going to have to contain that 3-headed monster in Wayne, T.Y., and Hakeem Nicks in his homecoming. Matt Bradshaw's homecoming also. I'm going to go Colts in this one. The Giant fan in me says like 31-28 Giants, where the NFL fan in me says like 35-14, something like that. I don't know. But again, even as an NFL fan, I want this to be a good game. You want all primetime games to be good. And, I mean, the Giants are the Giants. You can either get one of the greatest teams in the league, or you can get the worst team in the league. I mean, remember back to when they played Philly? They played worse against Philly than the Jets played against San Diego. That was probably one of the worst games I've ever seen the Giants play. It was brutal watching that game. And then you have games where they were on that 3-game win streak when they had 35 points a game in that 3-game win streak. So, it's one of those two teams tonight. It's one of those teams every night. Hopefully, we get the winning Giants tonight, and they come out with a victory, go to 4-4, creep up in the standings, and we won't have to kiss this season goodbye just yet. All right, told you all it would be a short show. Thank you all very much for tuning in. This has been the Ryan Morik Show. Thank you once again. Remember, it is not goodbye. It is see you later. Let's go, Giants. Hopefully they pull out a win tonight. Take care, everybody.